Here's the model I'm using for today's tutorial, and like you guys can see, her front edges are short, they are not really grown. Now I'm just sectioning out where I want the pattern to be using a tail comb to help me section it out. Cornrowing I added little extension. I also tried as much as possible to pick up all the little edges in front of her head, but if you do not want to do that, you can just cornrow where the client's hair starts from and then just kind of box braid it to the client actually have like hairs, other hairs or little hairs in front of her head, and then you continue from there. Hope you understand what I'm saying. Okay, the little why I'm adding little extensions is because I want the cornrows to be able to withstand the pressure of needle and thread. I always say this. For the second line of the cornrow, we'll cornrow until I get almost very close to the tip, and then I will add the tip of the first cornrow to the second cornrow and just braid it down so that the cornrow won't be kind of bulky at the end. So we'll just go ahead to do the same to the other part of our head, cornrowing, connecting all the tips together so that they won't be bulky. And then for the last one, we'll just take the last two tips and then add it to the last cornrow while cornrowing it downwards. So yeah, this is what the cornrow for the style should look like after cornrowing it all back. So after that, we'll just go ahead to hide the tip using needle and thread to do so. Okay, this is the hair I'm using for today's tutorial. It's called Top X from Expression Products. It's a synthetic hair, a coily synthetic hair, 3 bundles in one pack, and one pack should be enough. That it's only when you want it very full, and the lengths are 12, 14 and 18 inches. We just start sewing in the hair from the back, which is the normal usual way to sew in WEAVEON. But if you are confused and you are new here, you can go ahead to watch all the previous sewing videos. They are more detailed compared to this. Not like I'm saying that this is not detailed, but just for a better understanding. Since the hair is in 3 different lengths, we just start by sewing in the longest length, which is 18 inches, then 14 inches, and the last one, which is 12 inches, so that the hair will look a little bit longer at the back. So like you guys can tell, this is a synthetic hair, meaning that the wefts are singled, not doubled. The human hair's wefts are usually doubled, but these synthetic hairs are mostly singled. Since the wefts are singled, we'll just double the wefts. I doubled it off camera and then continue sewing in the wefts just so that the hair will be kind of faster to sew in. And also I do want all 3 bundles on her head, so that's why I'm actually doubling the wefts and sewing it in. Okay, as I'm sewing, I'm doing the turnover method. When I get to the end of the particular line, we just flip it over and continue sewing in. Once you notice that the thread is about to finish, you use the scissors or a blade to cut off the needle first, and then you just try to tie a knot with the remaining part of the thread and completely cut that off with a scissors before continue sewing with another set of needle and thread. Sewing a double weave sometimes can be tricky, so you just have to make sure that you're actually sewing in the double wefts, not just the single weft, because it can be tricky. You just be sewing just one weave and not knowing that the other weave is kind of hidden inside. You were not able to sew it in as you were sewing the first weave. So always go back to check if they are actually doubled before you like fix or push in the needle. Okay, after sewing in the 3rd line at the back, for the 4th line for this particular hairstyle, center parting or middle part, you will have to take the 3rd line further to the front where the first cornrow is or started from. Then you flip it over from there and continue sewing. Hope you understand it.
No other eyes
synthetic hair did not come doubled from the pack, you do not need to like push the needle from the up. That is after doing the turnover method in front of our head. You do not need to push the needle from the up. The only time you need to do that is when you are sewing in human hairs that comes doubled, that's the weaves come doubled already. That is where you need to like take the needle from the upper part. That's after doing the turnover method. You take the needle from the upper part and then sew it in and push the thread upwards. Please, if you haven't seen that video, I would advise you to go back and see that video first before watching this video, because it might be confusing for you, especially if you want to sew in human hair. How to sew in human hair and how to sew in synthetic hair, there are two different ways doing that. Hope you get a better understanding on it, because in the previous video I used the human hair to sew in a center pattern, but in this video I'm using the synthetic hair, and I explained why I did that method in the previous video. Over here in this video it's a synthetic hair, so sewing it in here, that sewing the weaves here is totally different. That's if you want the weaves to actually lay down very flat. This is what you should do to a synthetic hair and what you should do to a human hair. Like I said before, you don't have to take the needle from the upper part to the down part, but the only thing you need to do is just to, when you are sewing that first line, after flipping it over, you just drag, after taking the needle in, you just drag the thread upwards so that the hair can lay down flat, the weave itself can lay very flat. So yeah, this is how to sew in the center part. Hope you guys get the explanation. Mostly for you to get it right, you have to sew like the first, second and third line. Going to the fourth line, you have to take the weft straight up to the front cornrow and then flip it over from there and continue sewing. That is how to sew in the center part. If you are actually kind of confused, I would advise, like I said before, to watch the previous video to get a better understanding on how to do the turnover method. That I use a human hair, like I said before, and this is a synthetic hair. Okay, to close this style without using a closure, you just take the weft first and measure it. You are taking two wefts, not just one, and then measure it to see if it's able to cover up the remaining part of the head. So after measuring, we just start sewing the hair inside out. We advise you to watch this closing part very carefully, because I'm not going to explain anything. I'm just going to allow you to watch it. So watch it very carefully so that you know how to do the inside out closing. No other eyes reveal. Please, you can also leave a comment below on what you think, or if you are not actually getting the explanation better, so that I can do a more detailed tutorial, like step by step, slow motion. If you want that, I will do it. I am ready to do it. Always have it in mind that while sewing a center part, what you do to the left, you have to also do it to the right. So the quantity of hair you are taking to the left, you have to also take it back to the right, so that the both sides will be equivalent to each other. So I got a question recently on how long the pattern is supposed to be. For me, I would suggest that the pattern is either 5 centimeters or 6 centimeters. The longer the better. The longer the pattern, but the better the fitting. Sewing the hair inside out, you are doing a U shape. So you are sewing it in a U shape. That means you are sewing both the left and the right side together. Hope you get it. Okay, after sewing in all the bundles, we just spray the hair with hairspray, and the one we usually use in the salon is called Above. Since it's a synthetic hair, it's fine to spray it with hairspray, and then we just use my hands to just open the coils a little bit. So yeah, here is the final look, and thank you so much for watching this video to the end. Hope it's helpful, hope you enjoyed, hope you're able to learn one or two things. This is one of the older styles before the use of closures and frontals. So yeah, I'm just teaching you guys, just showing you guys what it was or what it looks like. And please do not forget to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, share to friends and family, and stay blessed. We'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.